Hi you guys! In an effort to recreate most of my old videos, my next one up is my fabulous gluten-free Italian bread. Look at this bread, you guys. It definitely is my favorite bread that I make of all time. And that's because it is really soft, plush, and fluffy on the inside. It has this amazing crust that won't break your teeth. It is just crunchy enough, but kind of soft. It's perfect. And it is beyond easy to make. So if you want to learn how to make this, I'm showing you right now. So let's get started. Okay, in the bowl of a stand mixer, I start with my gluten-free bread flour blend, which is essential in making any of my breads, along with a little bit of sugar, some instant yeast, salt, and this time I'm adding psyllium husks, whole psyllium husks. There is a way to make this without psyllium husks. It's like the original way. It still comes out great. This is just an easier way. It's a little more extensible. It's an easier dough to work with when you add psyllium husks. So go ahead and mix this all together. Get it on your stand mixer with the dough hook or the paddle attachment, because this is such a soft and runny kind of dough. That's my dog in the background barking. Just ignore him. They love to bark when I'm recording for some reason. So into this, we're adding some melted butter and milk. And the milk doesn't have to be warmed up or anything. You can, but you don't have to. It's fine cold as it is right out of the fridge. So we're going to bump up the speed to about medium-high, let it go for roughly 5 minutes, and it's going to look like this, which is like a really thin, loose batter type, which is fine. It's not going to be like this forever. So scrape it into the middle of the bowl, put a cover over it, and let it rise for roughly 2 hours in a warm, draft-free area, and then we put it in the fridge for at least 4 to 6 hours, preferably overnight, just like most of my breads. So what we're left with is this nice, soft, pliable dough that can be kneaded. And here, this is half the dough. So I prefer most of the time to make smaller loaves when it's just me, my husband, and my son eating. If I'm taking this to my mom and dad's for a family function, for instance, I will make one large loaf. So before we get it into the oven, we need to shape it and then let it proof for its last proof. And you can leave it like this, like a round bowl, or you can do what I'm doing here. This is my favorite style of this bread, is like a batar, which is just basically a short, squat baguette is the only way I can think of to describe it. So I prefer that method because it makes really great sandwiches. If you cut it at a diagonal, it gives you more surface area for your sandwiches. But you be you, do whatever shape you'd like. And once we shape this, we'll put it on the parchment paper and let it cover it and let it proof for only about 30 minutes or so. This bread will not double in size. It will be noticeably larger and puffy, but you will not get a completely doubled in size loaf. So what we're going to do now is let this rise until it's noticeably puffy. And in the meantime, go ahead and get our oven ready at 450 degrees with a baking steel or stone, or even an overturned baking sheet in the middle of the oven with a shallow pan underneath that's oven ready. And that's for the steam. So see this is noticeably puffy. I can't say that word. Noticeably puffy, but it is not doubled in size. So we're gonna go ahead and slash this with a lame, which I have a link for below, or you can use a serrated knife that's been run under hot water. And we're gonna bake this at 450 for roughly 30 to 40 minutes. Now, When I take my breads out of the oven, before I shut the oven off, I always check them for their lightness. So I pick it up, it's hot. If you need to use gloves, do so. Pick it up, and if it feels relatively light for its size, it's done. If it feels at all heavy, put it back in the oven for another 5 to 10 minutes and check again. And that's it. So easy and so delicious. Could it get any better than this? I mean, you cannot find any gluten-free loaf of bread like this anywhere. You can make this so easily at home. I urge you to do it because you are missing out if you don't. It is incredible, you guys. My favorite bread, even my dad's favorite, he doesn't need to eat gluten-free. And he said it's the best bread he's ever had. So I urge you to try this bread. You just saw how easy it was to make. With a few specialty ingredients, you can be making this bread all the time.